I haven't painted in 2 months, so today we're gonna start a new painting. Okay, so today's gonna be like my first paint session. Not really because you've seen me paint, but I've only painted like twice for like an hour max, and today's gonna be like a few hours. I'm gonna try and cover the entire canvas in one layer and then do a second layer. Usually I work in sections where like I work on one section of the painting, I do one layer, and then I do second layer. That area is done, and then I move on and move on and move on, and then eventually it's a painting. But I think I like the idea of painting all in one layer and then going back and doing a second layer. And the reason for that is because I I can never picture fully what a painting's gonna look like. I have an idea because I obviously have a reference photo. So I feel like if I cover the canvas and then do one layer and then a second layer, I can just see the full picture. And then when I'm doing that second layer, I have everything in front of me so I can get a better idea of what each area needs. I haven't even started painting yet, and I scraped my palette like leftover dried up paint with this, and I literally cut myself. And I don't have a band-aid, so it's like toilet paper and like tape. I just have to make sure I don't get paint on it, because me just picking up that palette, I got this much paint on my thumb. So I really don't want to get on the cut. Like you can even see I already kind of got it on the paper towel, but I think it's good underneath there. Anyways, oh, also, look at my sunflowers that I bought today. I bought like red ones, and the stem had like pink on it, so it like dyed the water. How cool is that? I kind of want to show my palette. I am using a pretty limited palette. I'm just using 5 colors and then 2 shades. So I'm using white and what color is this? Cadmium, yellow pale hue. Cadmium or cadmium, I don't know. Yellow ochre, and then what's this color? And then cadmium or cadmium, however you say it, red hue. But I use that, and then I use French ultramarine, blue, burnt umber, and then black. And then there's this green here, but I haven't used it because it's pointless to use. So far the pros are that I can memorize how I mixed a color, which is huge because I forget. And like, it sucks when you forget how you mixed a color, especially when it was perfect, because like, it sucks. But when you only have 5 colors, you kind of remember if I'm making a shade and I only have 5 colors. Whereas like if I have 3 different shades of orange and 3 different yellows, like remembering how much I put of either is harder to spot out because you're trying to decipher like what types of yellows you put in. Whereas like if you just have one yellow, you have one, well, I technically have 2 because yellow ochre is yellow. But you know what I mean. It's a limited palette, but it doesn't limit you to the colors that you mix as well. Like I mix all these colors just from those 5 colors. It'll help you get better at color theory as well because you kind of have to just break things down to the basic. For instance, like looking at this right here, like it needed a touch of red, just a touch. I could simplify that with my simplified palette and I didn't have to overcomplicate it. I used to never do this. I used to have like 16, 20 different colors on my palette and just like use all of them to mix, and it just became really complicated. And I'm not the best at color theory and it helps me. So this isn't like I'm so good at color theory. I only need 2 colors and I can make 6 colors with that. Like it's not that. This part of the painting is actually so hard that like y'all gotta go. I can't record this. So I'm working on the face right now and it's looking really bad. It's fine though. Okay, I don't know how well this is gonna work because I got a new lens and let me just go a bit lower there. And it like growls when it's trying to autofocus. I don't know if you can hear it. You hear that? Yeah, so sorry if you can hear that because maybe if I don't move, then it won't have to autofocus. So then it won't growl. So I just won't move. But today we're gonna be, I'm moving. Okay, let me try and sit still again. Yeah, so today I'm gonna be painting. I finished the first layer, that's where we left off. But like I mentioned at the start of this video, this is my first time covering the entire canvas in one layer before moving on to the second layer. Which for me, the second layer is like the last layer. All right, what I'm fixing. I am going to be completely fixing the door and the coat area. The door, you can even see it through the camera kind of, like it's just way too cool tone of a gray. And then the coat is not that orange on the reference photo, but I think since I could recognize from the reference photo that it was orange, I felt like it needed to be more orange, but it's way too orange. So I'm gonna fix that, and I'm actually gonna be making the entire background like a lot darker, and kind of the whole surrounding area will be a lot darker because the focal point is this chick right here and the lamp. So I wanted to like illuminate in a way. I don't know if I can do that, but we're gonna try. And her face is like botched right now, so we're gonna fix that as well. And I'm gonna just kind of bring everything together and put everything where it needs to be because some things are just like a little like wonky.
Okay, so yeah, this is what the face is looking like right now. It's not looking too good. This is actually a second layer. So um we're obviously gonna do a third, and I kind of know what went wrong. What went wrong?
That was a lie. I actually had no idea what was going wrong with the face, and I painted it a few times and erased a lot of areas a few times until I changed one thing, which was changing my reference photo. I was on FaceTime with my friend who I was also painting, ironically, and I showed her the reference photo through FaceTime, and I noticed my camera altered the reference photo and it looked like this. The screenshot showed certain colors and shapes that I just was not understanding from the original reference photo. So I just used that screenshot as my reference. And this happens sometimes. I feel like when I'm painting, things flow naturally, and other times I need to take a different approach or add extra steps to just let things flow a bit easier for me. And in this case, I just had to change the reference photo. All right, final thoughts on painting in one layer. I actually really liked it, and I think I'll continue to do it with my paintings. It was really interesting to see what a painting can look like just in one attempt. It took a lot of pressure off on trying to make everything look good because I just had to let every part of the painting be for the first layer and then make that decision on what needed to be fixed during the second layer. And the reason why this kind of took the pressure off was because certain areas of the painting looked really rough, like the blanket and the pillow, for instance, just looked like a mess. But then once the entire canvas was covered, it looked less messy and it actually was fine how it was for the most part. So I think working in one layer can help you trust the process. And if your goal with painting isn't to really focus too much on detail or realism like mine is, then I definitely think this is a more fun approach to have when you're painting. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the arms. I actually really like how the arms look right now. I feel like I did a really good job just blocking off shapes and colors and values. I think that it actually translated really well for how rough it is in terms of placement and how bold each brushstroke is. But I'm gonna go in with the second layer because obviously it's not gonna match the rest of the painting that's more rendered. So I kind of have to go over this, but I do want to keep these bold shapes there and kind of keep these fun green tones that kind of peek subtly through the reference photo.